class, this is Mrs. C here. Welcome to a new adventure of discovering Rome. Today we're going to be looking at where Rome is located, their features, and the secrets to Rome's success. Before we go on, I want to make sure that you guys reviewed your vocabulary for this video. If you haven't, go to your Google Classroom and review the vocabulary there. Just click on the link and then you can come back to this video. Let's go venture out to Eastern Hemisphere. This is the Eastern Hemisphere right here. And to take a better look over here, the part that we're going to be looking at is the Northern Eastern Hemisphere right here. So let's see what's out there. We're going to start off by saying ancient Rome was the biggest and wealthiest empire of the whole world. Not because it had a lot of money at the beginning or even gold, but because of the agriculture, the architecture, the religion, their government, trade routes, and even their vast armies all contributed to their success throughout the years. So, ¿dónde está Roma? Where is Rome? And why is Rome considered a great location? I want you to pause this video and take out your social studies interactive notebook and jot down some ideas to these questions. Great, you're back. Now we're going to go ahead and look at some of the Rome's features. Let's take a look at this world map. We're actually over here where it says North America. We've talked about North America and the different countries. And we would go to travel all the way across the Atlantic Ocean to Europe. How do you think they would get there? We'd probably have to fly or take a ship. Because as you can see, there's no land connecting to Europe. Or if you had a submarine, you'd probably be able to get there that way too. Let's take a closer look. Here is the Italian Peninsula, which is one of our vocabulary words actually, but it's almost surrounded by all water, as you can see. And then this boot-like right here, and at the very end, you will see an island which is surrounded by all water. So that's the difference between a peninsula and an island. So Italy, which is now the name of the country, has these islands: Sicily, the Sardinia, and Corsica. And also what surrounds Rome is the Adriatic Sea, the Ionian Sea, and the Tyrrhenian Sea. So it has 3 seas that surround Rome. Okay. Another feature I want you to look at and jot down is the Alps. We have the mountain range, which is very important for Rome. And we'll talk about in the next slide a little bit more. And also I want you to look at all this yellow. This is everything that Rome conquered over the years that they existed. They started with Rome here, and then see all this red, they conquered all this and then expanded all that to all that. And here we have, just if you want for extra, the Mediterranean Sea. And we just learned about Greece. Here's Greece. Really close to Rome, right? Another feature that was important for Rome was the river, the Tiber River. And why was it important? Because it provided with fresh water. They needed that for their crops. They needed it for bathing, for drinking. And they also used that river so they could do some trade routes. They started with the river, and then as you can see here on this map, there's a bunch of all these lines. These are the different trade routes they eventually took, and they imported, exported, and grew prospered even more because of that. And the trade routes actually were very important as well, because they even used that when they started conquering all the other lands. What also was important were the Apennine Mountains. Right here in the brown zigzag symbol, that's the Apennine Mountains, as well as what we talked about in the previous slides, the Alps. And those mountain ranges help divide what was here the peninsula, and then the mountains here help protect Rome, because armies would come in and try to invade Rome, and it'd be harder to just climb those mountains, over the mountains, to get to Rome. So Rome had an advantage there. So it served as protection and to divide from other countries there. So Rome started, according to the history books, by the 7 hills, which is these villages here in this outline in this red line. And they came together to form Rome. Now, the legend says that it all started at the Palatine Hill, that Romulus built a fortress there at the Palatine Hill, and then eventually they all came together, all the 7 hills or the 7 villages, to form Rome and eventually become the Rome Republic, which will be our next lesson that we will be talking about. But now Rome is part of Italy, and Rome is actually the capital of Italy. So this is all for now. Let's go ahead and recap what we just saw. This is we just saw about the Apennine Mountains and the Alps. We talked about the Tiber River, how important it was for their crops, their agriculture, for drinking, for bathing, and also for their trade routes. Okay. I want you to revisit the question that we just had earlier. Why was Rome considered a great location? So I want you to add some thoughts to your interactive notebook, and we'll discuss them tomorrow in class.